Hello and welcome to another free code session. My name is Jason Bach and I'm going to work on some inline mapping stuff. I think when I fixed the bug in one of the latest episodes, it made me think of some issues that have been sitting around here for a little while. And again, I will state that I do not have any intentions of making InlineMapper a full-fledged object mapper with all the details, all the things. That's not my intent. And it's mostly just to demo source generators. At least that's a fair amount of it. But there's some things I've been thinking of that I'm like, well, maybe I should add this in and put this thing in there. So I'm going to try to work on a couple things today. And yesterday, just as a side note, I was doing my Ironman biking thing. I did 30 miles, which was the shortest route. I've definitely realized I need to lose some weight. I don't think I'm like fat, as bad of a word as that is, but I can definitely lose to thin out a little bit again and, lessen the load on the bike and hopefully be able, I've been happy with my times, at least for me. They've been decent this year. They're nowhere near what people can do. I was seeing some people that were doing the 100 miles yesterday and they were just like skinny as rails and, probably carrying around anywhere from 30 to 60 pounds less than what I am. So it's like, yeah, it probably wouldn't hurt to thin it out a little bit and try to get down more. I really don't, I love weightlifting. I love that feeling of being a little bulky and feeling a little bit strong that way. But quite frankly, I'm much more interested in about having that more thinner look. That's what I'd want to get. Getting there, of course, is there's dreams and reality. So I don't know if I ever get there. I think about the sensei that I have for self-defense, and he's probably about 3 inches shorter than me, maybe. And I would say I probably got about 30-ish pounds on him. I would never even want to remotely get into a fight with him because he knows it's all about leverage and it's all about knowing where to hit, when to hit, how to be fast when you hit. And yeah, there's no way I would ever want to even remotely tangle with the guy. He's a nice guy, very, very friendly. I'm just saying it's not just muscle. It's not just strength. It's not just bulk. It's knowing how to use all that too. And anyway, that was just one of the things I realized yesterday. It's like, yeah, I need to probably get back and thinning it out and then maintaining that over the next who knows how many years. Anyway, it was fun. Don't get me wrong. I had a blast yesterday. It was fun. Really nice. It's right in my town, Shakopee, and it was fun going, 30 miles all around the country here. And I'm hoping either next year or the year after, maybe my goal is next year is to do the same route lengths, but to do better times because I'll have that weight off. And then the year after start thinking about doing 50 and 60 milers and seeing if I can jump up that way. I'd love to do a 100-mile bike ride at some point without braking, without stopping. But that's a very, for me, lofty goal to get there. But we'll see. What are the goals for right now? The goals are to close out 1.4. So the first one is this add a mapping attribute. And this actually came up because somebody responded and said you should have a mapping alias. And I didn't quite get what this person was saying, so I was about to respond. And I said, you know what? When I was looking back through this again, I said, this is probably a really bad idea. And I'm realizing this is definitely a very, very bad idea. It can just start going down a rabbit hole of what to map to what. And yeah, you can use name of here and all this other stuff, but there's no guarantee that you will. And I just said, you know what? What's probably better is, I think this customization flags where you can either pass in a instance of, I think I said, there's another issue from Rob, the guy that I know, who was talking about mapping to an existing object. And I think what I meant here is to say, there's like a create destination, or maybe there's like a, provide source or something like that, where you can actually provide a source object that's already created. Maybe that came from a database. And so you're not just saying, you're not just saying, no, you'd have the source. So that wouldn't be it. Yeah, you're saying this is the source and I need to map it to the destination. but that you're getting the destination from somewhere else and that you want to map it to that, something like that. So I think that's what I want to do to here. So I think this one I'm just going to close out, and say, upon further thought, I decided to not do this. And what was this one? Number 12 should allow for people to do whatever customizations they want during the mapping process. Okay. And I thought about this because I'm like, this is going to be once I get this done, is that it's going to be in the scope of a map to whatever the method is. And so there's no like disposable scope here. I'm just saying it's in the scope of this. So this is part of the mapping process. And you're just saying, I know this and this won't map up. And so I'm going to put them here. And it's just kind of on your own. This again is just to say, I have a source, I have a destination, map matching things, though I am going to eventually do this too, which is allowing types to be relaxed so that if the destination property is a base type of the source's property type, then you can assign one from the other. Okay, and maybe instead of allow assignable types, I'll do like the reverse, the types must match. And so it's always going to do the relaxing unless you explicitly say, no, they have to match exactly. I'll get to that one later. There's also the one that I've thought about where instead of you saying, properties equal to property, if the source property also has the ability to be mapped, which I would know because I would see the map to a destination. That wouldn't. Okay, that's what I'm thinking. If you have properties that have the same names, but the source can be mapped to the destination via a map to method, then use that. That has the problem though of saying, well, what happens if this calls this calls this, and then you get into a circular loop. And so that I'm not going to do in 1.4 because that can get quite hairy. I haven't really thought that one through just yet, so I'm leaving that on the back burner. Anyway, let's actually do something. So let's close this one off first. So we'll say that. And there we go. Okay, now this one, the customization flags. Which one did I want to do? Did I want to do this one or did I want to do this one? I think this one would be easier. So because right now we'll match exactly only. This is broadening the scope. And so if you want to actually keep it the way it is, you'd actually have to go in there. Whereas to broaden the scope, we do the first one, which is to say allow assignable types. Which one is actually better? I'd say let's do this, which is broaden the scope and say, only if you want to limit it to exact types. That seems reasonable to me. So let's go to 2019. I was thinking about doing 2022 just because I have it installed now and I want to play more 2022. But I'm thinking for right now, let's just, you know what? No, there's this part of me that's going, Jason, you really want to use 2022. You should use 2022. Break all the things. So let's let this load and then we'll close it and we'll actually open it up in 2022 and play with that for today. Okay. And I've also noticed that Visual Studio just crawls slower when I'm doing streaming. It just is, and I don't know why, and I don't really care. Well, that's not true. I mean, I care. I just let's do that. Oh, it's already up. It could be that fast. I like the splash screen, again, because it's new. You gotta like the splash screen. So let's just pick this, okay? And opening the solution, which is super fast, blazingly fast, just mind-numbingly fast. Okay. So we want to test in here to say, yeah, this is going to be a fair amount of work, I think, because we have to put in all the attributes types must match exact and all that other stuff. So let's let it load. Take its sweet, sweet time. My God. Okay. The one saving grace again is that I know when I'm not recording a video, it does not take this long. I know that. Okay. All right. I do like the little purple highlighting they're doing here. That's nice. I do like that, I'll admit. Okay, so what is this issue? This is number 14. We're going to say get new branch. And we're going to say 14 relax type matching. And say create. Okay. I notice they also switched the, you can't see this because my face is down below, but there's, I think it used to be the repo and then the branch you're on, and now they've flipped them for reasons. I don't want to take a survey right now. Go away. All right. So let's actually make some notes here. So I think the first thing I want to do is add, and what did I call it? Types must match exactly to all attributes. Okay. And then, which will be false for now. And then we need to say when finding properties. Okay, this is, oh yeah, this is something else I thought of, is create a mapping context that travels with the source plus destination key. In other words, this may not be the only property I ever have that says what is something special about this mapping. And so I just want to make this thing here that holds stuff like types must match exactly. Okay. And so when we're finding properties, look at the context, look at types must match in the context, and determine how to make the match. And then we're going to also have to have tests around all this, obviously. Okay. All right. So the first thing is, let's go to the attributes. So map attribute. Do we want to put the, no, we can't because it's attribute and it has to be all static data. Okay. So we're going to say, yeah, now we're getting into a whole bunch of optional values. Oh, well. Do we want to say, yeah, this is also a design consideration, which is, do you want to have, what are we calling this? Types must match exactly. It is a literal Boolean condition, but does it read better if you have a, not an attribute, an enumeration there. But what would I call that? Well, we could call it matching property types. I don't know. Just go with that for now. Matching property type. And so we'd say it either has to be yeah, you're slow. You're slow. Be a public enum. We'd say it's either exact or subtype. And actually, because we want this to be like the default, do that. No, not that. That. And then what do we do here? We did that. Okay, so we want to follow the same thing. Okay, so this will be the name of the thing. Do we keep it that name? Matching property type kind. And then do we call that containing namespace kind? Don't show again. Okay, so we're going to call this kind. We're going to call this containing namespace kind. And I think this is also technically a breaking change by what I'm doing. We want to say the default is that. Okay. Now, can you create and assign? No, you're not going to be smart enough to realize how I am doing all the things, but that is okay. We're going to say here, public. Okay. Go away. And this is going to be not great. Not great, not terrible. The stop matching property type kind is equal to matching property type kind. And of course we have tests around this, right? So we have match attribute tests. And we're going to say great with exact matching type. So the thing we want to say here is there. And we also want to have this be explicit in terms of name. Yes, I know all these are breaking. Oh, I get it. Oh, I get it. And we'll have to come back on all these, and yeah, this is where you do some work and it's like, oh yeah, you gotta do this and you gotta do this. And I guess you could say I don't have to do this, but I am doing it because it's the right thing to do. So we're gonna say here, matching property type kind, and it should be matching subtype. Okay, same here. Except here, it's going to be exact. And I don't think I have tests for any of this because it's not breaking anywhere else, but oh well. Make a note of that. Add integration tests for the kinds in the attributes. There. Okay. All right, so that was that. Close that. Can I run these tests? It's going to let me do that? Or is too much else broken everywhere else? Okay, well, it succeeded. And now let's see how the tests are running. One failed. Really? What failed? Well, which one failed? I thought there'd be like that little... whatever. Show me both. Oh, you can... Well, fine, whatever. Create exacting. Oh, did I not... Wait, what? Create with exact matching type. Oh, did I... Yeah, because if you don't specify it, it's not global, it's that. Okay. This is why you do what, ladies and gentlemen? Write tests. That's why you do this. Oh, now the green and red show up and they're all good. Okay, fair enough. Okay, so we did this one. We did map attributes, so let's just do map from and map to, and then we'll fix all the tests. So here we have, excuse me. Yeah, we're going to have to change all that. We're going to put these in here. We're going to copy that. I know, all the busted. I get it. Oh, I get it. Trust me, I get it. Except that's awful. That was a terrible paste. Okay, now we're going to say here, containing namespace kind. This is containing namespace kind. And then we're also going to say, nope, this dot matching property type kind. And that's all equal to matching PT there. No, 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 not. Come on. I thought copying and pasting code was what you're supposed to do. We have two attribute. We're going to do it right. We're going to make it right this time. You better believe it, bucko. No, I didn't. Oh, God, just... That's what I want you to do. Okay, so... We're going to want is that, except not that, containing namespace kind and matching property type kind. And you don't have those, so you need to have that. Did everything. Yay, it all worked. Wonderful. Let's quickly write the tests. Map from, except this is no longer kind, containing namespace kind, that, and now I need one for matching property type kind, and this should be not that, matching PTK. This should be subtype, as it should be here as well. Except in the case where we want to say create with global kind. What did I call it? Create with exact matching type. Okay. With exact matching type. Oh yeah, and then we also want to have the name here. To be explicit as to what we are doing. Matching property type kind. Just take your sweet time. Sheesh. And so now this should be exact. I wonder if I'm getting stuttering. No, it's not saying I'm stuttering. Oh, abort. Why are you aborting? Oh, I know why. Because you have a map from and map to, which map to has not been updated yet. That's why. I should also say I noticed in some of the previous videos that my video camera was like adjusting. I don't know why, if a recent update of Windows knocked out some of my recent, or some settings I've had when I first plugged in this camera, and I noticed it was doing that like auto focus. I was like, no, don't do that. Turn it off. And I don't know if an update of Windows decided, no, I know better. I'll turn it back on for you. And so I noticed that was happening a couple times. I don't have the camera up, so I don't notice it. But I think I've set it back to manual, so I'm hoping it does not keep doing that, because it's a little annoying. And if it is, well, then, you know, we'll have to try to fix it again. No. Definitely not a quick IDE. But again, it might just be because I'm in a recording session, and I know Visual Studio tries to crawl when I do that. So what do we call this here? That. And then that. And then up here we're going to say containing. Yeah, just take your sweet time. Matching property type kind, exact, and that should be exact. Run all the tests. And look, we change attributes. Gee, that was a lot of fun work, wasn't it? But again, it's step by step. You got to build these things up one after the other, you know. Can't just go into it willy-nilly and hope that everything just works. Got to have a plan. And so, I mean, sometimes, especially as I gotten older, a lot of times I'm just, like if I got to do something or I got to figure out a task or whatever it is, I might spend an hour or 4 hours or a day or 2 days just literally, you know, depending upon how hard the thing is to really think it through, maybe take some notes, stuff like that. But go through all those things in my head and say, okay, you know, let's make sure that we've got a good plan in place rather than just diving in. And, you know, there's too much of, you know, move fast, break crap. And that's not, I won't say it's not that I never work that way, but I don't always work that way. In fact, I would say the way to move fast is to go slower, you know, which take that for what it's worth. Added type kind enum to attributes. So we got that now in place. Okay. Yay. Okay. So we committed that. Let's push it. All right. So in the next episode, I'm going to do is create the context object. But before I do that, I do want to capture that I'm going to and have it contain and this change how current code is. That's going to be a point in and of itself. Change how current code is looking for containing namespace kind. Okay, because I know where I'm doing that in code, and I want it to actually look at that rather than however I'm doing it right now, which might just be passing it around as a value as an enum. So we're potentially going to fix that. Either way, that's going to be in the next episode. So thank you all for watching. Leave comments and questions below. See you in the next episode.